So we have a few questions about the bankruptcy thing. So here's what we know. KTM owes absolutely tons of money. They came to the point where they realized if they continue to run the business like this, they would run out of money and have to shut the business, which is why they declared insolvency, which means they were in a situation where the business was at risk. At this point, government steps in and tries to help you restore the business. The government's intent here is to try and keep the employment, etc., and the economy of that place, which all industries have a big impact on, running. As we record this, the plan for restructuring that KTM has submitted to the government has been approved. What that means is it could have shut yesterday, but it has not. That is the other way to do it, where the government says, no, this restructuring plan does not work. Bring in people, split up this company, sell off the assets and recover what you can. Now, the plan is KTM will write off 70% of their expenses, which means what money they owe to the suppliers and all of that kind of thing. If they were owed $1, they're going to have to settle for 30 cents. Somebody did the mathematics on this. Was it Ryan F9? I'm not sure. Who said if they had done the other way, where they said, no, this restructuring plan is bullshit and let's shut this company down, they would have only got 15 cents or 10 cents or something like that. So 30 cents is not bad. KTM is trying to sweeten the pot, and I'm saying trying, please pay attention, because they've said instead of paying this 30% over 2 years, which is what is legally normally done, they will try and pay this off on a much more accelerated schedule. As I understand it, they need about 550 million euros to be able to settle this debt. This is one side of it. How will they settle this debt is unclear. Obviously, KTM is working on it. Otherwise, this restructuring plan would not have been approved. Details are not available yet, as far as I know. Bajaj, who already have a near majority stake, but not a majority stake. And it's a complicated structure now. It used to be much simpler. Bajaj owns part of this and they own part of that, and that owns, it's an, I
It's a
don't know.
pyramid of companies with one at the top, which owns another one. Then another one owns this collaboration and stuff like that. So it's complicated.
Yeah, so all of the KTM companies as a group, that company that owns them, Bajaj has 49.9% stake. Bajaj has committed to a 150 million euro payout to KTM, out of which 50 is going now, and that will help them restart production by March, which is the one of the first milestones of this restructuring program. That's 2. 3, Stefan Pierer is out, and they have a new CEO whose name, when I read, I'm sorry to do this, I am really apologize, but I immediately burst out laughing.
Okay.
Because his name is Gottfried Neumeister. KTM Gottfried, now they have a Neumeister. It just makes sense. But I don't know his record. I don't know good, bad, or ugly. But he's the man in charge of putting this thing back together again. I understand MV Agusta has been returned back to the family that it was purchased from. Husqvarna and GAS continue to be part of the KTM family. MotoGP will go on for this year because I think the judge said ready to race the slogan hai. I mean, how can you stop them from racing? फिर तो brand values ही change हो जाएंगे. So this is the path. Now we will see over the next 6 to 9 months how KTM comes back onto its feet. Bajaj will have a role. CF Moto, who is the other partner from China, they will have a role to play in this. But this is all we know. Now, if this concerns you, don't buy the bike. These bikes are made by Bajaj. And in theory, if KTM were to disappear, there is no reason why Bajaj wouldn't be able to continue to make these motorcycles, because that's how bankruptcy works. But if this concerns you, don't buy the bike. Simplest answer ever. Last time we said for the Duke, hey, look, brand new engine. If you're concerned about it, wait 6 months to a year and see what happens, and then buy the bike. What's the rush? We're saying the same thing here from the other side. And don't think mechanically there's anything new on the bike. No reason to stop. But if the bankruptcy thing is a concern for you, that's not an issue.
I mean, these are the kind of things we see constantly. And like there are brands, big brands in India, like we talk about Renault and Citroen, where they're making great products, but people have this question mark about the brand. And if that's a big enough concern, stay away. It's as simple as that. The products are good.
Yeah. The car you buy and the motorcycle you acquire should give you joy in your life and not bring worries home. And I'm not even going into whether the worries are justified or not important. If this is the kind of thing that worries you, just don't do that thing. It's fine. There are other options that you can explore, and there are other ways that you can do the same thing. Simple.
Yeah. So quite simply, we were talking about this earlier, and I think the way Shumi put it to me was quite good, because he said the way it works right now in the insolvency court is it's accepted the proposal from KTM, and all the progress is marked out, right? What they have to achieve, for which they're getting money, for which they will have to table in reports of what their status is. And that plan stretches for about 2 years, right? There are markers in between,
Yeah.
like March, like Shumi mentioned. There's another one later this year. So clearly they've got a plan for this time frame. So at least in that sense, for a 2 year window, you see that they've got a game plan of how to try and get out of this.
You've just watched a 3 to 5 minute clip on the Motoring Clips channel, which means either you are an exceptionally talented millennial or Gen Z, or you're a much older person. In either case, would you like a challenge? Our main channel has videos that are at least 5 to 8 times longer, and they make 5 to 8 times more sense, I promise. Would you like to check it out? Come to the Motoring channel.